Okay, so I recorded myself creating this entire render from start to finish right here. And this one actually went by pretty quick. I finished the full thing in just over an hour, I think. So if you want to see exactly how I put all this stuff together to create this final image right here, that's what this entire video is. So yeah, I didn't take this one super seriously. It was more just me kind of having fun and just seeing where things went. So yeah, if you want to see me make this, just keep watching. You can just watch me create the full thing. Okay, I want to make something that's like some fantasy kind of style of thing. That's kind of what I've been doing a lot recently. The only idea I have is a hallway of some sort right now, maybe with like wooden barrels on the side. That's just kind of the first thing that's popping into my head. I should probably bring up some references of like what I'm gonna make, but I just don't really feel like it. I kind of just feel like doing whatever, and I don't really care if it's like realistic or anything. So let me just start, and we'll just kind of see where this one goes. Yeah, so let's just start with the floor. I want, I'll just block it out to start. Not sure if this is going to be animated or still. We'll figure that out as we go, but we'll just get going and let's just, yeah, see what happens. Okay, let me take this cube here and we'll just kind of mirror this along here because I know I want it to be symmetrical. And I'm just going to block out roughly what I want. So probably something like this where it's going to be some long hallway and then maybe some sort of like glowing object or something in the middle. Like we could maybe do like one of these Ethereum things, something like that is kind of what I'm picturing for some reason. We'll see if it stays as that or changes. I'm not sure, but we'll just have some sort of thing there for now. And then yeah, we'll go here. Let's go into rendered view on this. This is just a second viewport right here on the camera view. And we'll take the camera, just kind of make it look up this way. I think I want it wide-ish. We'll do 24 millimeters, which is, I always start with that for some reason, but I just like it, so we're gonna go with that. And actually, I'm kind of feeling maybe not this, but maybe arches on the side. We could do some really quick placeholder arches here if we just add a circle. Just kind of come here, delete the bottom half of these vertices. I think I should actually subdivide this. We can just hit Control-1 and apply that for subdivision. And take these bottom ones, extrude that down, extrude this out, extrude that out with Alt-E, extrude faces along normals, pull it like this way, right, archway, okay. And we'll just set that there, set the origin maybe to the geometry. And then let's just do a quick bevel along here. So this bevel, increase the segments. I know it's kind of like intersecting with this, but whatever. We'll go custom, do a good old squiggly line just for some kind of random detail on there. Maybe like a few more segments. And maybe we could do the same thing on the outside. A little bit smaller though. Wonderful. And then we'll just array this kind of on the sides to start. So we're just going to pull that there, scale it up a little bit. Array, boom, mirror, boom. Look at that efficiency. Okay, shade auto smooth. Kind of bring that there-ish. I might increase the offset a little bit more and then do some pillars in between. We'll see. But that's kind of the basic plan, right? I think I want light coming in from this way. So we'll just kind of have something in there. Right? Light. And maybe a little bit more, like 4. Boom. This up. There we go. Radius up a little bit so it's not so hard. And then there. You know, something like that. And then maybe like this can come up, delete these, rotate it kind of this way, have like one, or like have some big ones in the middle maybe. That might be interesting. I'm not sure if that's going to work, but we could try it. We could also add, so if I just apply scale and rotation, just add an array this way with like going this direction. So it would be like there. And then that can kind of actually be our pillars along here. That works. Nice, look at that. We got a hallway already. And now we need some textures. Let's just grab a Polyhaven texture in here. This is their add-on. It's a paid add-on, but you can actually just get all these textures for free from their website, from their official website. They give it away for free, but if you want to pay, you can actually just download it to the asset browser. Okay, so I need some sort of like stone material. I'll just search stone, a rock or something. I'm not really sure what exactly is going to work here, but let's just see. I don't know, maybe lichen rock. Let's try that. Just drop it on. We'll just kind of take all this stuff, link material to that one. Whoops. And then we'll just cube project this, cube, project this. And then we need some really quick, we'll just do some edgeware really, really fast. I have a node for it actually. If you want to see how I set this up, I'll leave a link. Actually, I'm not going to link it, but if you just search on my channel, there's one of the videos I made. The edgeware is in the title of the video. It's like texturing, one of my texturing videos. I don't have very many, so it should be easy to find. Anyways, if I just search edgeware, there it is, edgeware v2. Drop that in there. I'm going to delete the displacement map. I don't need that. Okay, let's see if this is actually working, which it seems to be. I think the thickness and amount are just a little bit low, so I'll just keep that there. I think the scale of everything is a bit off, so if I just add a cube, it's a little bit big. Yeah, that edgeware is not making too big of a difference, but maybe it will in a bit. Put that on there, right? And we'll kind of figure it out. We'll go from there. So that's the basic block out. Okay, let's just fix a couple of the UV maps here because this is like really stretched out on this one. So we'll just apply scale, cube project that, scale that up, boom. Okay, and then we need some volume. Let's just add that and see. Whoops, adding the wrong thing because I'm rushing. Add volume. And we'll scale that up. Why is this not working? I think this is on. There we go. Scale up. Display as bounds. Boom. Get that in there. Okay. New texture. Delete this. Add volume scatter. Plug that into the volume. 0.001 on the density. Maybe a little higher actually. Maybe 0.01. And NSO should be up to like 0.7 maybe. And we'll just kind of scroll in and out here to refresh it. And let's just see. Maybe a little bit more. It's maybe a bit much. The world settings is just this. So I'm going to take that out. And let's just increase the brightness of this maybe. Maybe let's just make it actually a good amount higher, like 40,000. Okay, nice. I like this kind of style. One thing I want is a roof. So I'm going to duplicate this, delete the array, and then we can probably actually just kind of do this to kind of just really quickly just cheat a roof on here. And then I don't want these ones here because I want to let light in the sides, but I still want it to have a roof. So I'll just kind of quickly cube project that. I might put a wood texture on there. That might be kind of cool. But for now, we'll just leave it stone just so I can kind of get this sort of finished, or sort of outlined rather. So there we go. We got a basic roof. And I think it would be cool to have like on one side here, some like barrels or wooden things or something. I actually have some in here. If I just go to my fantasy pack, not this one. This is the new one, which is not out yet. This one right here. Okay. This is the one that came with, well, let me just add this first. Let me just make sure this is even going to work. So let's take this. Let's take these wooden barrels. Rotate that 90 degrees. Just throw it in here. This pack that you can see here, this is the one that came with, that comes with the environments course that I put out earlier last year. So if you want to get these models here, I'll leave a link below. It's part of the course. It's a bundle that comes with it. But I think this is going to work perfectly for here. We could just have like kind of this wine cellar vibe going on. Yeah. There we go. Get a bunch of these in here. Let's throw some more models in from this pack as well. Maybe some like individual barrels. Like this. Whoops. This. Yeah. Okay. Maybe make these a little bit smaller. I think everything's a little bit oversized right now. I'm just going to take these, scale it all down a little bit. Take these top ones, bring it down as well. These ones too. Wonderful. Okay, this can kind of just get put around here a bunch of times. I think I'm going to leave the left side open because that's going to be where the light is coming in, so I don't need barrels there. It'll be kind of like, I don't know, a walkway vibe against a building kind of thing. Maybe some pots and stuff too, that might work. Throw some of these in. So some of these. Get that in there. Get some of those over here as well. Maybe make a little cluster of these. Right? Something like that. We'll kind of come back to that later, but I'm just kind of throwing in as many objects as I can here, just to kind of fill out the space as much as I can. The lighting on this is now kind of gone, so I'm going to maybe adjust the angle here slightly so that it's kind of coming a little bit more this way so we can hit more of this thing. I might take this and just kind of delete that. I might actually mask it, so I'll just assign that to a vertex group, add a mask modifier, put that on there, hit this arrow and then select the vertex group, and that'll just hide it there. But it's actually still in there in edit mode, so it's it just hides it. But if I want to bring it back, I could just turn the modifier off, and then that geometry will come back. Just because I might want to bring it back later, I'm not sure. But anyways, good start. I think I might just put a couple of these barrels at the end, just so there's some sort of end point. We'll do that right here, somewhere here, maybe 2 in a row. That would fit nicely. And then we need a light over there as well, so you can actually see that. Yeah, nice. Okay. And then I'm not sure what's going on with this random floating thing. We'll figure that out, but I like the vibe that's happening. I like where we're going, the direction we're going in. So that's like, honestly, the hardest part is over, because the vibe and the idea and the lighting and the kind of mood we want to go for is all there already. So all that's left to do is just kind of, sit down, focus, and slowly chip away at refining this until it is looking a bit more, finished. But that's the hard part right there, done. It's like record time. That's like very fast. But anyways, we still got lots of work to do, but I'm very happy with how this is going. Okay, let's see. So where should we go from here? So the thing that is bothering me right now is this Ethereum, whatever this floating thing is in the center, right? I don't really like this, because I want this to be a little bit more. I want it to feel like it could be real, or like it could feel a little bit more real. And having a big floating stone thing doesn't really help with that. So let's just hide this. I might just. I'm not going to delete it because I want to be able to bring it back. So I'll just hide it for now. One thing that's kind of bothering me, I just did a quick test render here. And one thing that's kind of bothering me is the ceiling. It's a little bit awkward and empty. I think it might be cool if it was like maybe a wooden ceiling. Although maybe we don't really need that. Maybe I just need to scale up the texture. I'm just going to keep dropping in assets here. Maybe throw some pillars in. Maybe make some tables. I'm not really sure yet, but we're just going to keep going and see where it goes. I think one thing I do want is this kind of thing here. I've got this wooden kind of scaffolding. It's just like cubes with like metal bits. You can see like the wire from here. It's nothing too complicated. So just this kind of like wooden structure thing here. I'm going to take this, and I think this is going to work well on the sides. So I'll just rotate it like this way, and then just kind of stack it kind of along where these things are going. So let's just try and line it up here. I'm just going to open this up a little bit more. Let's just try and line it up here a little bit. Maybe either on the top of this, like over top of this arch, kind of chilling right there. That might be okay. Like I have to see what it looks like over here. Let's just move it over here. I'm going to go to view and just make this a little bit wider in the viewport. So zoom that out a little bit. And let's just try and line this up here. So just kind of move it into place roughly, just see what we're working with. Because I just want a little bit more happening here. I actually like that. It's not too bad. And then maybe to pull this whole thing down, we could actually just do this. Let's take these two things and let's just turn on correct face attributes. And then that means when I extrude this down, the texture won't be stretched, I believe. Let's just see. When you extrude, it might. Okay. With extrusion, that doesn't work, so we have to just re-unwrap that, which is easy. I'm just going to add a couple loops right here. Scale these by 0. And then let's take these and just extrude that out a little bit on individual origins. There we go. You can bevel that too. One segment. Just really quickly do that. And then let's just expand the selection here. Cube project that. Make sure the wood is going the correct direction, so it's kind of following the grain of the wood. Just like that. Kind of line this up so the things are right there. And that's going to be fine, right? Okay. So that can get kind of placed all along here. I might just kind of do this. Oh, what's going on there? Random vertice got pulled out there. Let's get rid of that. And I could array it, or I could just kind of manually place it. I think that's going to be the easiest. It's just manually put it into place. We'll just kind of do that there. Try and space it like it's the same offset every time. But if it's slightly off, it doesn't really matter. And one more time, just pressing Alt-D on these. So they're all linked duplicates. And that's a little bit more detail on the wall there. That's nice. Might even be able to use this, go in the other way too. Like If I rotate it 90 degrees this way, maybe we could kind of, this might work if it was like scaffolding on the top here. Oh, that might be cool actually. It might work. I might make a copy of this and then just hit object and data, so unlink it. So that's object relations, make single user object and data. If you right click this and assign a shortcut, that's right here in my quick favorites. Object and data right there. If I click that, that will actually unlink it from the other one, so I can kind of just edit this on its own now. And I can just do that. There we go. So I like that. It's adding a little bit more detail in there. And then we get some interesting wood on the roof as well. I don't know if that makes that much sense, but I like it, so I'm going to keep it in there. So I'll just try and have the same offset on all of these. So right there, it seems like, and back here as well. It's fine if it's kind of going past. Oh, that's actually fine. So I'll leave that there. Okay. Now this is a problem, right? This whole section down here, how it's kind of just a little bit barren and everything looks a bit out of place. So let's see if we can deal with that. So I think the scale of everything might be just slightly off. I'm going to check. So I'm going to add a cube, move it up 1, and we'll just scale it in like this. And then we have just roughly the height of a person here. It's actually 2 meters tall, so a height of a person is going to be less than 2 meters, right? It's going to be maybe around there. And I can just line it up with the floor. Now this would be like an average person height. So if that's an average person, everything around it looks a little bit too big, right? Like if you're kind of imagining yourself here, walking up to this barrel, you know, maybe it's fine actually. Does seem like it's just a little bit too big. Maybe what might help is just moving the camera up a little bit. Move it up just to like there. That actually works. And then we're kind of bringing this up to eye level as well. So that's actually nice. So I think we can get rid of that or just move it off to the side somewhere here so we don't have to look at it. That's going to be pretty good. I think the floor maybe can get scaled up a little bit. Or maybe we can just switch this to a 4K texture. Since we're using Polyhaven, I can actually just switch it right there. Let's go back to the asset browser and let's just see what else we can pull in here. I might want to make a table, but I don't know if I really want to because I have some in here which are, they're circular, which is not quite the right vibe here, but it might actually be fine. And then maybe we could just kind of put some random pots on here as well. Just rotate that so it's not the exact same as the ones down there, but that's fine. That's a little bit of nice kind of stuff going on there. Could do that here as well. I just put these onto that table. Let's make sure this is just lined up on the ground, which it is. So this we can kind of just throw right there. And let's just see it. Is there something else clipping? Yeah, this, just move that out of the way. And I don't think we need this guy here. So that's good. I just want it to feel a little bit more narrow. Because it's just, the walkway is very open right now. And I just want it to feel a little bit more cozy and, yeah, narrow. Maybe not cozy, but restrictive. I don't know. Just like less open space. It's like too open, you know. Okay, so let's just kind of move these things around and just make everything kind of fit. Let's just make sure that's kind of there. Okay. What else could we throw in here? I could do some photo scan things as well. I'm just gonna think, like, what do we actually want? What do we actually want in here? I think maybe a central table would be cool. So maybe we could have like either that, something in the light would be nice. And we could actually bring that Ethereum thing back. And this could maybe just be on top of this, smaller with like a stand on it. It might be interesting. It won't make sense, but it might be cool. So let's just try it really quick. Let's just do some fun modeling. Let's just see what happens. So I'm going to duplicate the edge loop on this thing, separate it so we have this as a separate object. We can just fill that with the face, inset, delete, extrude, expand this outwards. Let's just bevel this a little bit, apply scale. Let's just do, how should we do this? Maybe just as a kind of a test, just to see if this would work or not. Maybe we could just inset these. And then just Let's go to individual origins. I'm not liking this. I'm not liking where this is going. Let's actually delete this. I'm not sure if I like this here. I think I might want this one to be a still instead of animated. So I'm just going to adjust the camera here to match that. Let's go 4 by 5. So we'll just have this at 4,000 by 5,000. And I'll leave it on 50% for now, but we can change that later. So we've got to fill in this empty space now because I don't want to be able to see the void out here, right? So some trees might be good for that. Let's just throw on, this is Botanic, and it's a paid add-on that I use just for spawning in trees like this. So this one's actually probably fine. So let's just drop that in here. And let's just see here. I think we should be able to use this to kind of cover this up. I might have to drop a sky in the back. That might be a good idea, but it might not be. Just kind of depends what looks best. The other thing I want to do is I kind of want to try adjusting the color of this main texture here. So we could try mix color. Sorry. Mix color. Drop that in here. And let's just see what we can do. So I don't want this on mix. I want it on multiply. And it might be nice to have like either more green or more brown. I'm not really sure, but let's just kind of experiment here. So making it warm, or maybe colder, or more green. Maybe a little bit of green. I wouldn't say this is really necessary. I think I'll just leave it kind of maybe a little warmer. It's mostly making it darker. It's not really doing that much. Let's try a sky and let's just see what it looks like, because it might be good or it might be horrible, and we have to try to figure that out. So we'll drop a plane in here. Just make it big. Let's add a new texture, and let's just drop in any sky. I think let's try. I think a moody kind of sky, like a gray sky, might be best here. Could use an HDRI too, but I don't think that's really necessary here. So let's go. I don't know where it is. Photos, skies. There we go. Hang on, let me just find it. Okay, yeah. Here, I think one of these, like something like this, might be nice. Let's just try it and let's see if that actually looks good or not. So I'll plug that into color, emission color, and drop the strength. And I do not really like that, but it might just be nice to have it on the side. One thing, the reason this is not working also is because there's no like back part of this. So we should probably just take, let's do this. Let's duplicate these edges here, separate that by selection. Just kind of grab it here. We'll just delete the mask modifier. And we'll just fill that with a face and just kind of extrude that down. Just so that there's something blocking this. Maybe add a bit of thickness. And just unwrap it, cube project. Like whatever. So now that's kind of just covering up that there. And then I should probably add a wall here too, so that it's covering up this side. To be honest, we could just do this. Duplicate the floor, rotate 90 degrees, chuck it right there. Now we're kind of blocking any light that's passing through here. It's just kind of poking through. Going to cover that up. Could again add thickness, but I don't think it matters here that much. So that's fine. Just in case if we see outside, I just don't want it to be like fully a void, you know, like a black void. So I don't know. Maybe just kind of have some arches out here as kind of another thing that's just kind of making it seem like there's something going on there. And let's just pull that out a little bit too. And we've still got to figure out what we want in the middle. So I might have to just kind of rapid fire try a few different things. I think this is definitely not going to work, this random Ethereum thing. It might be nice to have an open back here. Let's try that. Let's just see. That might be interesting. Not really sure if I'm feeling that though. We could also try a dark environment. Why don't we try that? Let's actually bring this Ethereum thing back, this thing. And let's make it glowing. Let's just hide these lights. I'm going to move the lights in the sky. We'll just call it lighting 1 to a new collection. And then I can just toggle all of that off at once and come back to it later. Okay, so let's just see. What would it look like if we were kind of lighting it from the inside? Let's just see. So if I just have a light here, I think this is going to be better. Let's do this. So it doesn't have to be just a white point light. It should probably be, you know, something. Maybe we could do this glowing crystal, actually. Actually, let's do that. I haven't done that in a while. Let's try this. Let's make this texture kind of its own thing here, so it's not going to affect the other ones. We can take this off. We can take this off. I just want, actually, the base color off. Just the normal and roughness. Maybe just the roughness. We'll see. And I'm going to put a light actually on the inside. So I'll put the cursor here and then add a point light inside this thing. Just make it like kind of bright. We won't see anything until I turn up the transmission. So turn that up. Now the compositor's on here. I'm going to disable that. And then I don't need the light that bright. Like this is extreme. So we'll just turn that down a little bit to there for now. Adjust it later. But I think I need to turn up the light paths. Like maybe the volume bounces need to come up. Yeah. And then maybe caustics should come on. Although I don't know if that's going to make a difference or not. Okay. And then the roughness. Let's just see if we can do this. The other thing is I might have to disable shadow. Disable. If I go to visibility, turn off the shadow for this thing. And that way the light just actually shines directly through it. This doesn't actually cast a shadow at all. But it does kind of make it look like it's still absorbing the light. So that's nice. And let's just try this. If I turn off multiple importance on the light, does it make this ball thing go away? No, it does not. So I'll leave that on. What might be best is deleting that light, actually duplicating this, adding a emission material on this thing. I might just make this material unique again. And maybe let's actually run, I don't know, the base color into the emission strength. And then maybe make the color this, and then maybe just take a math node. And then that way we're getting like all this information here is running into what's determining the strength. So it's not just like a uniform, like solid emission color, which kind of looks bad sometimes. So I'll have that there. Maybe take a color ramp. So it's a little bit more. If it's bright enough, you might not even see this. So maybe there's no point. Oh, sorry. It's supposed to be on multiply. Not add. There we go. So that's kind of nice. And then this, let's just kind of adjust the roughness here. Let's take the normal map out of that maybe. Because I want like some of the roughness to be really rough and then some to be kind of not rough at all. Something like that. Let's just quickly do this. Let's just scale this in a little bit more. And let's throw in a bevel on this thing too. So that's fine there. Let's maybe make it blue. Or something a bit more colorful. Yeah, blue might be nice. We might actually have to light this with a point light because sometimes the emission is it just gets really messy. But it might not be a problem with my computer, so we'll see. And I don't know if I'm liking this anymore. Sometimes you got to try a few different lighting setups, and it's just kind of annoying and difficult. That's okay though. It's just how it is sometimes. I'm not liking these trees out here anymore. I'm just gonna get rid of those. And this too. Get rid of that. And I might want to just make this symmetrical with all these barrels here. So we can just Alt-D, scale by -1, just kind of put it right there. And we got to figure out this lighting quick. Before I do that, I think it would be nice to add some puddles. Let's just do that with a noise texture here. So I'm going to make this texture unique again, just make it its own texture by clicking the number next to it. Let's call this just ground. And the way to add puddles, it's very easy. You just take a noise texture, and we can run that into the roughness and normal map, like you'll see in a second. So first of all, let's actually just take the roughness down to 0. We might not even need a roughness map at all. And we can just plug this right into the normal map strength. And we can just take a color ramp and adjust this so it's high contrast going in there. Adjust the scale, detail, and roughness. Let's just preview what this is doing. So that's about what I want. So that's good. And we can kind of just mess with this here. I think I'm trying to get some areas that are, fully glossy, and then some areas which are not. I think the roughness should be having the same thing running through it. So let's put that there. Run this through, let's take a mixed color. Drop that in here, switch it to multiply. Run the same color ramp into slot B. Maybe not the same one, actually. Let's run the noise into slot B. And then duplicate the color ramp so I can adjust it separately. Because I just feel like it's not quite doing what I want. Let's get that in full there. And maybe the scale is a little bit off. Let's just try and get this a bit better here. That's not quite doing what I wanted with this texture. I think that's okay for now. It's not great, but it's okay for now. Looks very damp, but whatever. And I just want to figure out what to do with the main lighting here. Like, I'm just not super sure where to go with this. It might be better to, I think I'm not liking this. Let's move this to lighting 2. Let's just take that off, go back to lighting 1. And then we're going to have to take out some of these things. Might be nice actually to leave that one and then maybe just have this. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Okay, so that's a step in the right direction. Now, it's very dark in the foreground, but maybe that's fine. Okay, so what can we put in the middle? What's going to look good? We got to think about, like, what is this place, right? It seems very much like a wine cellar, so maybe a chair would be good. I don't know why I came to that conclusion, but I just kind of have that idea right now, so let's just try it. I have chairs in here somewhere. This one, let's try this one. I made this in an unreleased video somewhat recently. I think this will be part of the next course, which again is not out yet, but anyways, it doesn't matter. Random chair, we can just put that in here. I like that. This one, Sweeper made. Let's try this one. I like that one too. I think this one would be better, like in the shadows, closer to the foreground, maybe like around here. Maybe have this kind of just in here. Then we can have this one maybe in the light. That's kind of nice. There's another one here that I could try. Not liking that one as much for this render. We could try statues too. Maybe let's put in some. I have a pack of statues. This one's from ArtStation somewhere. If I go to fantasy statues, there's this pack on ArtStation. I can't remember exactly where I got it, but if you just search on ArtStation a little bit, find a pack of statues. There's some really good ones that have like a ton of statues for like $20 or something. It shouldn't be too hard to find, but I'll just throw one of these in here. What's gonna work? Some standing one, I think, like this. This is not from the pack, but this is from Sketchfab, I think. This one doesn't have a texture, though. Let's try maybe this. Maybe that can just kind of go in here. I think a standing one's going to be better, though. So maybe this. Would this work? Let's see. This one also doesn't have a texture. Maybe I could put this floor texture on it. It looks cool, but I'm not sure if that quite fits. I think maybe it's too shiny, so let's put the ceiling material on it. And then let's just kind of have it in here somewhere. And maybe, yeah, we can kind of adjust the lighting so it kind of hopefully can shine on that a little bit, maybe. Maybe it just needs to go further out here, like this way. Maybe kind of put it back here. I don't know. I don't really know where I'm going with this. Maybe just have it on this side, like this. Yeah. Maybe another one, like closer to the camera. I don't think you can see that. You can. It's in there. Okay. Okay, we're getting somewhere. I think just needs more stuff happening over here. Maybe let's bring those trees back. Probably shouldn't have deleted those, but I didn't really like them anyway. So maybe let's try a different color of tree, like an orangey one. Let's put that like around here. This is ending up quite similar to a render I did like last year. That's fine though. Let's get this out of here. So I want to have the tree like in here, but not like being too annoying. Like just kind of adding some detail in the corner over there. Okay, and I think the volume is a little bit too thick. So let's try taking that down. So maybe 0.01. Yeah, that's better. Anisotropy can maybe go up a little bit too. I think we don't even need that much. It's still a little bit more than it needs to be. Let's go 0.06. And that's going to be fine, I think. Now the lighting, maybe we could make it a little bit warmer. Oh, that's kind of nice. Let's copy that color. Just Control C, hovering over the color. Just paste it into these ones, unless they're already linked, which I think they are, so it's not necessary. Oh, they aren't. Okay. Let's link them all. So link object data. And now we can adjust all of them at once. Maybe desaturate it slightly. So I don't mind that. Oh, that's nice there. We could also just kind of pull this back a bit to get the same effect. Just kind of forcing a little bit more light in there. Not too much, because I do like how the foreground is a little bit dark. But just a little bit more light around here would be nice. Like there. Yeah, that's nice. And if you want to kind of fake some bounce lighting, we could try that too. So maybe just add a area light here. Kind of point it this way, paste the same color in there, turn it up. Now you'll notice it's kind of showing in the volume. So we can actually disable volume scatter on that one light in this orange square tab right there. And then of course it's going to be way too bright. I just want a tiny bit just to kind of make it look like this is kind of coming in here. Now, if you don't have this setting turned off, multiple importance, you're going to get a really bright reflection. You still might end up getting that with a glossy floor like you can see there, so it's maybe a little bit unavoidable unless you just turn it way down. And you really don't need much to kind of have this bounce lighting effect. Like even 10 watts sometimes is enough to be like to the point where it's past that it's like unrealistic. I think, yeah, I'm going to just do like 11. So that's there. That's fine. Could even do a point light, but I don't think that's going to be quite as nice. Okay, let's do a test render. Let's just see where we're at. So I'm going to do this at 40% here. Let's just see what this looks like. So you can see kit bashing is very helpful sometimes, or even just like modeling things in advance. In a, you know, on the days where you don't really feel like doing a full render and you just kind of want to make an object or something, you just make a chair or make a, you know, barrel or something, and then you can just drop it at the asset browser and then reuse it in any project later. Okay, so I like the floor actually. It's kind of cool. Very grungy, but I like it. And we need this is a little empty up here. We'll fix that. Just drop in another arch or something. The statues I actually don't mind. It doesn't really make that much sense, but I don't mind it. I think we just need more chairs and tables and stuff throughout here, and that will be enough to like fill it out. So let's try that. And I think this one's going to be a fairly quick and easy one, quick and dirty one, but there's nothing wrong with that. So let's just take a few chairs here, and we can kind of just reuse some of the ones we've already made. And if you finish it fast, like it's not a problem. Like sometimes you kind of value how good like your sense of how good the artwork is kind of dependent on how much effort and pain it took you to get there. But if you've already modeled all these things, or you've already downloaded models that somebody else has made, and you can really finish it fast, there's nothing wrong with that. Like it's doesn't like subtract from the quality. So sometimes you just gotta recognize that, like, even though it didn't take you that long, it still can be just as good, especially to the viewer, as if you spent 100 hours on it. Okay, let's put this way. It just depends what you care about, right? Like, I don't care about how many hours it took me. I care about what it actually looks like in the end. So, yeah. Nothing wrong with kit batching. Okay, so let's put that in here. It's a little bit bad to maybe have the same, let's try this. Just the same object, like just duplicated and scaled up by 2. So I might have to do this, like might make more sense to do like double this up here. Try not to have this overlapping too much, but that's fine. Yeah, it's fine there. Sometimes it's okay to stretch it out a little bit as long as it's not too noticeable. And I like how we're getting alternating like sections of light and dark in here. That's really nice. This statue's bothering me though. I think it needs to come a little bit this way. Yeah, there we go. It's a little bit much when, like, okay, this is kind of important to look at here, right? If we look at what's happening here, the light is coming in from the side. It's hitting this chair. This chair is very bright, but then it's also hitting 2 statues. Even though the statues are kind of far away from the chair in the scene, in the composition, in the actual render we're looking at, they're very close together. And so that, you know, having these 2 bright things next to each other that are both attracting a lot of attention, right? Because a statue is like, it's a kind of a person shape that's going to naturally attract a lot of attention on its own. And then when you shine a bright spotlight directly on it, it's going to bring even more attention to it. So if it's not really the main thing that I want you to be looking at, which that's what the chair is here, I should just move that into darkness and maybe take a little bit of that spotlight away from that thing to leave the chair in the spotlight, right? And that can be where the kind of viewer attention's trying to get directed to. Same thing with this one in the back. If I can just move it into the shadow a little bit, I think that's going to be a lot nicer. There we go. And that I think looks a lot nicer than it was before. It was just too messy before. I want this to be a little bit closer to the camera. Maybe just zoom this in. We could try like 28 millimeters. Maybe move it back now a little bit, actually. That's not bad. Okay, same thing here. I want a little bit more shadow over here, so we could just maybe take a tree and just kind of, oh, there we go. That works. As long as we're not casting a shadow from the base of the trunk, I might just kind of drop that a little bit. I don't want it to be too dark, like it's just a little bit, like right there. Still a little too much, like just trying to get a tiny bit of a shadow there. If we just hide this on and off, yeah. See that bright spot right there? Just hiding that with some random tree in here, just to get a nice shadow. That's gonna be nice. Same thing along here. You don't have to go crazy with this. Like, it's fine to have bright points. This is a little bit extreme. Like, my style of lighting is quite extreme to be honest. It's okay though. I'm very careful with where I direct the light. Let's pull that out just so that the chair is fully in the light there. It's fine. And do we want it there or do we want it centered? I don't know. It's a little bit awkward with it there because there's like this pillar in the back which looks like it's kind of going into that. So it's kind of nice to have it there because it's like a dark spot that I can put it right up against. So that's kind of nice. It's not necessary to do that, but it's just like, these are all like artistic choices that you can make on your own, right? Like, there's no right or wrong way to do this. It's just like, what do you want? And make decisions based off that, not based off of like what you're supposed to do. Okay, so that can go there. That's kind of nice. Makes you feel a little bit more like full of stuff going on. I think I just want, the only thing it's missing is like stuff that's like cluttered on the floor. So what could we add on the floor? So we got to think like, what is this place, right? Looks kind of, wine cellar or basement or storage area. So you know, what would you maybe find in like a storage area in like a fantasy style of thing like this. Maybe like metal tools or papers, or just like, I'm just going off the top of my head, right? Like what would we find here? So metal tools, paper, I don't know, bricks, random debris, plants, leaves, you know, I'm just listing out things here, but any of those could work. Any of those could work. Just depends like what do I have easily accessible that is gonna look good, and what do I feel like. To be honest, I don't really care what goes there. I just want something kind of scattered around. So I got to think now, like, what's going to be the easiest thing for me to do. I don't have to do that, but that's just kind of the mood I'm in right now. I don't really want to spend a ton of time on like floor debris, on literal garbage. So let's just try and think of something that's going to be quick and easy. Scatter. Sometimes just going through the asset browser. Gives you ideas. Like there's some sticks in here. Like what if I just drop this in here? Some random branch. Let's just see what that looks like. Let me bring it up close to the camera. What does that look like? Yeah, that's something. Just make sure it's actually on the ground. We could have some of those. Let's do this. Let's move it. Go to top view. Move this to a collection. We'll just call it branches. And then you could scatter it, or you could just kind of manually place it around. Sometimes that's just easier. So just kind of, and then since it's in a collection, it's going to be really easy to select later. And so there we go. So there's kind of one thing that's in here. It's not really helping that much, so I'm going to try something else too. I might just go to all in my asset browser and just kind of look through every single model I have and just try and find something else in here. Like maybe broken tiles could be cool. I did that in the last video. We could try that. In fact, that might be nice. Let's try, let's just do a couple of scattered tiles. I don't know if that makes that much sense, but it might be nice. It's going to be really easy too, because it's just like a flat cube with a bevel. So bevel, random cube, scale it down, like that. Now this is not a tiled floor, so it probably doesn't actually make sense for there to be tons of tiles everywhere, but maybe I'm just kind of thinking these could be like, if you think about logically what this would be, I don't know, like they had some extra tiles and they like needed somewhere to store them, and then they kind of got like scattered around over time. It's kind of the vibe that I'm trying to go for. So let's just put the same material on here, this rock material, cube project. After the scale is applied, could be a smaller in the UV map because we don't need the whole texture covering that. And then we can kind of just make it look a little bit more like random. Like, I don't know, just kind of have these kind of throughout here. I should probably move it to a collection again, so it's easy to select if I don't like these. So we'll move it to tiles. Doesn't need to be spelled properly. If I add a typo, it's like, if I hit the wrong key, it doesn't matter, just so I can easily grab it later. Okay, boom. That's nice there. Having a nice floor is often like very important, just because, you know, if you look at the floor is like a significant portion, in this case, like maybe 1/5 of the entire image is just the floor only. So it's kind of important for me to get that kind of right. Same with the ceiling too. Like this is a significant portion of the image that's just kind of emptiness. So that's why I like having like hanging things very often. So we could either light this up with like more fake bounce lighting. So maybe we have a light this way that's kind of shining up. If we just kind of make this a little bit brighter. Sometimes that's a nice way to do it. Like that's actually bringing out a lot of detail there. And I don't even need to have it that high, because I know in Photoshop, I'm going to add like sharpening and clarity. So it's going to bring out all that detail like quite a lot. So I don't need to go very extreme with this. But that's going to be nice, I think. Just have that right there. If I hide this, just turn it on and off, just to make sure we're actually doing something positive, not negative. And it's actually quite a strong effect, so I might just cut that down to like 50 instead of 70, maybe even more, 40. Just hide it on and off, just make sure. So we're just bringing out a little bit of detail there, which is not that visible in the viewport, right? It's like, this is not a big difference. But like I said, once we render this and then add sharpening and clarity and all that, and brighten it up in Photoshop, that's going to come out a lot more clear than it was before. Okay, and this is a little bit awkward here, having this entire thing just this random like stone. That doesn't really make sense. So maybe we could just take some other wooden kind of thing and just throw it in there, like that other shelf we had in here. that can kind of just go in here, I think. Let's just throw that wooden thing right there. Yeah, nice. Make sure, I think that might have added some shadows. Nope, it didn't. Okay, so that's fine. And I actually like the rock material there. It doesn't make sense to have rock, like to make a structure out of literal like moss lichen covered rock, but it looks just kind of like some old grungy thing that's just like rotting. I don't know. It looks cool. I don't mind it. And that's all I care about. It just doesn't look cool, yes or no. Okay, let's do one more barrel. No. Maybe the branches from this tree can be kind of coming inside a bit. It's a bit risky doing that, but it might be nice. Just try and get it to be... Yeah, it's nice there. It's fine. Although that did kind of mess up my shadow I had before, which was really nice. So maybe it's not worth it. Like it was nicer there. Like the shadow on this side, I mean. Maybe I should just have a tree in the background behind it, which isn't actually part of the lighting, but that can just kind of make it look like there's a lot of forested stuff happening without actually getting in the way and casting a shadow. Like that, yeah. So that's a way to kind of fake, like it covers up the hole that's there, but doesn't actually cast a shadow. That's one way to do it. It's a little awkward up here with the ceiling just cutting off, but I don't think it's a problem at all. Like nobody's gonna notice. Like it doesn't matter, right? It's fine there. I think we might be good, to be honest, or almost there at least. I think I want this chair a little bit out of the way. I'm just gonna move this barrel over here and then put this chair right there. Maybe move this table actually out a little bit more. Although I did kind of like it there. And maybe this could be a little bit bigger. Then maybe the camera can zoom a little bit closer. I don't know. Just go 29 millimeters maybe. Maybe point this down a little bit more to make the chair a little bit more central. Although I do like seeing the arch at the top. You see that? How like if I cut this down here or move the camera down there, the archway at the top kind of gets cut off, where I kind of like seeing it in there, curving all the way around. It just kind of frames everything nicely. So I don't know. Like this is not like, again, it's just these are just artistic choices that you can make. Like it doesn't matter whether you have that in or out. Like it's just depends what you're going for. Honestly, I think we're good. Let's just render this and see where we're at. I like this. I like this actually. The statues, it just kind of makes it feel like extra storage for like whatever the hell this is. It's a little bit awkward here with these stone things going in there, but that could make sense, right? Like they could have built this wooden scaffolding around that. I think we might be good. We just need to obviously render at a higher quality with more samples and everything. I might go back to what I was saying earlier. Like there's still a bunch of bright spots in here, which are just a little bit distracting for me still. So I'm going to add a few more shadows in there and just really fine tune this lighting. So let's just zoom into there and just get this here. Because it's just kind of, again, distracting a little bit from the chair. Let's just get a tree in here, nice and big. And just kind of try and line this up perfectly so that it's just kind of cutting off or just casting a little bit of a shadow on some of those areas, like right around there maybe. Let's just see what that's doing. It's a pretty big difference. It's a bit more than I wanted. So maybe we can just kind of just try and get that a little bit. We have to do it with two objects. Like maybe that can go there and then maybe another one. Honestly, put it upside down. It's just going to be a shadow. You can't actually see this in the render, so I don't think you can see it, right? No. So whatever. So then this one can be used to kind of cover the top shadow around this section. So let's just try and line that up so that, yeah, right around there. I can make it really small too if I really want. Right. Just cover that up a little bit more. That's what I wanted, I think. Now it's doing a lot, so maybe I don't need it that much, but like, I think that's a good amount right there. Yeah. So you see that these trees are mostly just to cast shadows on the areas that I don't want too much light. Here's another thing that I'm seeing now. This is really distracting here, this really light part. Maybe I'm getting like overly obsessed with like covering up things with shadow, but I'm going to see if I can just kind of get that. I might make like a really thin, small tree, just try to cover that up a little bit more. I want to be careful because if you do it too much, it's going to just make it look weird and unnatural, but sometimes it can be really nice. Just maybe like a half shadow from the leaves can be nice too, like that. I don't mind that. And that way our chair is like very, very clearly visible in the center here. So maybe just kind of get this out of the way. I'm really trying to separate this chair from the background. That's what I'm doing there. I wonder if it would look good with more kind of fake bounce lighting off this statue. You have to add these lights, these fake bounce lighting things in a place where there is actually real bounce lighting somewhat. So like light is hitting the statue right around here where it's a bright spot on the statue. So it would make sense for light to be coming off of that and hitting some nearby objects. So that's why like having this here looks natural, right? Like it doesn't look out of place and super fake, even though we're actually adding this here, which is kind of a problem. So I wonder if there's a way to deal with that. Can I turn off like glossy? That works. So if I just do that. So there we go. We're getting actually diffuse lighting from this light, but then we're not getting glossy reflections from it. So that's really, really handy. You see that? So we're actually getting, it's lighting up the chair there. See that? And then it's not, if I just, where was that? It's not casting this really annoying reflection on the ground from the glossiness. So that's actually quite nice. I'll leave that there. And that just adds a little bit more kind of stuff happening with this chair. It's too bright still. I think I'm going to take that down a bit. So let's just grab this. Let's go like 6 watts. It does not have to be strong at all, right? Just enough to where it's like adding a nice vibe, but not destroying your render. Because if you have these too bright, it will just ruin everything, right? So keep it low, turn it on and off so you can see what it's actually doing, and then decide from there whether it's making it better or worse. And if it's making it worse, just cut the value in half or lower it, and then see if it still looks better or worse. And then you just do that until it looks better. And sometimes it looks better with it not even there at all, right? Sometimes you just add one light in the whole scene and you're done. And there's no more lights and it looks better that way. So it's not about, more lights is not always better. And usually it's worse, to be honest. But if you use it right, it could be a nice enhancer to just make things feel a bit more nice and cozy. Let's do that. I feel like it's just still not quite correct. Like maybe I need more light behind it. I think maybe I need let's just take a look here. This light, I think it should just move a little bit further this way, just so it's casting more of a bright spot here. This tree's getting in the way. What is this one doing? Like nothing. I'm gonna delete that. And then this one is now, so this one's causing too many problems. Oh, there we go. If I just line it up a little bit closer there, it helps a bit. Now, I think that's a bit annoying how it's like quite a strong effect, how it's covering up this thing. So I'm going to move it so it's like not erasing that bright spot, but just dimming it down a little bit. And yeah, let's maybe add a couple more tiles in here. I don't really like how it's a little distracting there, so maybe I'll just have that a little bit more in the darkness, maybe under the table. That's kind of cool. Maybe have a few more in the back here just to make it feel a little bit more filled out back there. And I like this. I think we're good. Just double check everything, make sure there's nothing intersecting and no problems with like, here, this might help actually. Let's turn, if I go switch this to random color, might be easier to see like here, like this is a problem, right? This thing going through that thing, like this is like the handle's inside of that one. So let's just try and sort little issues like that out now so I don't have to re-render later. Just kind of do a quick check to make sure we're good and nothing's really like fucked up, which I think is fine. I think we're good mostly. All right, let's render, let's set 60%, a little bit higher resolution. And we'll just do a quick test just to make sure we're still good here. Just to make sure I haven't messed anything up. And it's always good to just do a check before you do the final render, just to make sure everything you've done is actually how you think it looks like in the viewport. I'll drink my water farther from the mic this time. People were talking about like my water drinking ASMR in the last one. It was too close to the microphone. Okay, so let's just let this finish here and then let's just analyze what we've done. I think this one was pretty quick. Are we at an hour? Yeah. Okay. I think we're good here. I'm good with this. This texture, this wooden or this what is this, stone texture is a little distracting. Maybe I'll see if I can kind of tone that down a little bit, because that is a bit much. Let's see if I can switch that. We might just need some other material. Like let's just do this. Maybe we can just, I feel like it just needs it. There's so much detail and texture in it that it's like too much, right? Maybe let's take the edge wear amount down to 1, and then let's maybe mix. I've never tried this, it might not work, but let's just mix in like a brownish kind of color, maybe another texture or another image texture, which is less chaotic. Let's desaturate that a little bit. Yeah, so that's just washing it out. I don't like that. Let's maybe grab like something from textures.com. Textures.com. Let's just grab like some random wall or random, yeah, like this, or maybe concrete. Let's just take, so what it is if I just go to the UV editor, what that is this here, just this random concrete. I'm just going to try and mix this in and see if I can get this to kind of just overlap some of the harshness of this original texture. So let's just see if I mix that in a little bit and then make it darker. Let's just take a hue saturation maybe. Whoops, not there. Put it here. Darken the image quite a lot. And mix it in a little bit. Maybe take a curves, because sometimes that just makes it darker in a more natural way, because it kind of makes the contrast a little higher too. So that can go in there. Yeah, I don't know. So it's just, it's not quite right, because now it's washed out in gray again. So maybe I need to mix, let's try this. Mix like a brown color into the thing that's getting mixed into the texture. We're getting to like a little bit ridiculous here. I should have probably just swapped this out, but let's see. This might work. Yeah, that's better. See, we've just kind of reduced the all the little details in here by kind of mixing in this other texture. This is color. It's actually on mix instead of multiply. So this versus that, it's just kind of toning everything down a little bit, because if it's like, you know, if you have so much detail in there, it's like, it's too much a little bit, you know. Okay, enough of this. Let's render. Let's go 75% of 4,000 by 5,000. 80%. And we will render this as a, we don't need motion blur. This is all good. Camera. We need like a bit more samples. We probably don't need more samples, but I'll just do it because I can. So we'll do like 300. That's totally fine, probably. And anything else I need to do? Could turn on persistent data. That's one image, so it doesn't matter. It's gonna take like a couple of minutes to render on a good GPU, so whatever. Using a 4090, just for anyone wondering. And we can just, yeah, I think we're good. Let's render this, bring it through Photoshop, and then I'll put up the final result after that. I just noticed one problem while rendering here. If I just bring up the rendered view, you can see something weird is going on with this chair. Like it's really bright up here. So if I looked in the scene, if I just cancel this, I looked in the scene and there's this light right here I forgot about. So this is where you got to be careful using multiple or like a ton of different lights, because it gets harder and harder to manage as you add more. Like a lot harder to manage very quickly. So you can see here's one of those examples where this light, which I was using to light the ceiling, is now lighting the chair, which is like an unnatural thing there. So I'll just move it up a little bit and that should be fine. This is why area lights are nicer than point lights too for this, because this is only shining from here up, not downwards at all. So this is actually unaffected below here. So that's nice. Anyways, re-render that. Chair looks more natural. Still have the ceiling getting lit up a little bit, and I think we're good.